Hi, I hope you're doing well, Patil sir. How are things on your end?
Yeah, fine. Great.
Awesome. So we have Mr. Mandar Patil today, who is, I'm sure almost everybody knows Mr. Patil. He has been in since for a very long time. He was the first individual to help me with props that are required for my magic tricks. And I'm really glad that I'm interviewing you. And I'm really happy that we are here with you sharing your knowledge, your expertise, your experience with everybody. Hope you're doing well. How are things with you?
Yeah. Thank you, Amrut, for giving this opportunity to share my views, my ideas, my experiences for the last 30, 35 years in my magic career. And so I have a magic shop in Mumbai, Andheri. I'm doing this business for the last 25 years at the magic shop. And before that, before that, I was a performer and right now I have a magic shop. I'm doing retailing. I'm a trainer, professional corporate trainer also, and I also train the professionals into the magic industry.
Beautiful. Awesome. So, Patil sir, generally the interviews are very technical, but here we are going to get a little personal and we try to see what has your journey been all about when it comes to magic. So, I'm going to ask you some really interesting questions today. How do you
Okay.
define magic? What is magic for you?
Well, magic is a form of science. First of all, it's a performing art. Okay. If you see way back in the history, first of all, it's one of the oldest profession known to mankind.
Interesting.
One of the oldest profession known to mankind. Many people don't know that. Okay,
Wow.
so magic is one of the very oldest profession,
Hmm.
and it's a form of science. It's a part of science. If you see, magic is basically based on lot of scientific principles. Okay,
Okay.
physics principles, chemistry, these type of principles. Okay, so basically, it's a performing art, and it's one of the branches of science, you can say.
Interesting. So you already mentioned how long you have been doing magic. So let's
Yeah.
get some really funny angle to this. Do you remember the first act that you did as a professional? Do you remember it now? Like, do you remember it right away?
Yes, of course, Amrut. That was way back in 1980s.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Yeah, it is actually what happened during my college days. I used to perform, and we were NRIs. If you see, I'll tell you my background.
Okay.
In my family, like my father, my mother, and my sister, we came to India in 1979. Okay,
Okay.
and he wanted to start a business, my father, and the family business was the printing industry. Okay,
Okay.
and that helped me a lot in my magic career also. So we started the business, and my father is my guru, magic guru, my mentor. Uh,
Wow.
Unfortunately, he just expired last year,
Oh,
but he is my mentor. He taught me all the basics of magic. Okay,
beautiful.
and the very first show we did all together, we both of us did together was in 1980.
Okay. Wow. I was not even
1980,
born.
and that's very long. I was in my college days that time, and I remember me, my father, and I used to like we did it together, and it
Mhm.
was for our association, our Marathi association. Okay,
Oh, wow.
and that was, and I tell you from the day one, it was a paid show. That is one thing my father has taught me. Like
Ah,
nothing comes free. Okay, you
true.
should, if you
True.
give anything free, there is no value to that. Remember. So you, at least it was in those 1980s.
Hmm.
I charged something 100 rupees. You remember that?
Wow.
That those days 100 rupees was quite a lot of money.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, 1980s. So 100 rupees just for my conveyance and just for the expenses.
Hmm.
We charged the association, and that
Hmm.
was my very first show in 1980s.
Awesome. So everyone talks about success. Generally, we tend to talk a lot about success, but we're going to take a different angle here and we're going to deep dive in your experience as a magician because as you run a store, you know a lot of them and you as a professional magician yourself. So when it comes to magic, what are those things that people generally miss out on or what people generally don't focus on once they get into it or they get busy with it?
People means we are talking about the audience or the performing
Magicians, like generally, what have you seen? What has happened with you generally when you got really busy performing back to back?
Okay. We see a professional or maybe a semi-professional or a hobbyist, magician. Usually, when they start performing, they perform, but sometimes miss out in the sense they get hung up somewhere, in performing
Mm-hmm.
and all that, and then they get a little bit of tensed up, and that expression comes on their face. Something goofs up, something
Mm-hmm.
comes up.
Like
so
that,
that
huh?
that's one thing I always teach my students, that never show the on your face, because
Hmm.
the beauty of our art is
Hmm.
that only you know what's gone wrong.
Yeah,
Layman does not know anything.
correct.
If even if it goes wrong, even if something falls down from your hand on the stage,
Huh.
and you just dramatically you cover it up, they will
Hmm.
feel it's a part of the act.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So
Hmm.
basically, magicians, they miss out on that. They get tensed up. They get nervous. Sometimes I've seen many magicians before entering the stage.
Hmm.
They or sweating and all. So you have to be cool, calm, quiet, and just take it as it comes. Some magicians, they got a stage fright. They
Oh.
see. So all these things will be overcome by your experience and your performances.
So even if you get occupied performing back to back, that is something that you feel we should work on. Like, how do we express? How do we really put our act across? Is something that you feel we should put really work out on.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
So, like,
What was
so
the
when I listen to this particular reference, it is very evident that you suggest that we work a lot on the way we present things to the crowd, so that the anxiety or the excitement doesn't come across in the fashion in a
right?
completely incorrect fashion where it should. Awesome.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your failure, sir. Let's talk about your first failure, or for the first time when you were on stage and you did one mistake. It was caught, was it not caught? Do you remember any of such incident, your first magic accident while performing?
Magic accident, magic failure. I've been doing for last so many shows. My initial days, maybe in the 1980s and 90s, when me and
True.
my father, when we used to perform for this thing. One I can tell you is about, not my own this thing, but the Botania is the one thing which I can tell you is
Huh.
that, it's the Botania is a cylinder where
Okay.
you magician shows a cylinder and he shows it empty and one flower puts in and bang, a bouquet comes out.
All right.
So yeah, but the one thing is the failure. It was not actually a failure on my side. It was a lack of communication with my assistant.
Oh,
So
okay.
so that is one thing. So what happened? It was for a children's show. I was performing for children, and I
Hmm.
showed the Botania, and I put it in, and they made the magic wand, and then and I
Huh.
opened it. A bouquet came out, and I
Okay.
handed over to my assistant. Okay.
Okay.
So and what that fellow did, he took it, he bought, and he went going back off stage. He put it back in the cylinder. So you can imagine, and I didn't know this. He was behind
Uh,
me, and he put it back, and he went away, off the
okay.
wings. The whole crowd, Amrut, you won't believe, started laughing. I didn't know what was happening behind my back. So I said, I took it, hi, okay. I thought they're clapping, they're laughing, how, who. So I said,
Uh,
and then I just took it. I continued, I
yeah.
can't ask everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's so funny? Then I realized later on that this happened. So you see, sometimes the mistake can not only happen from us, it can be happening for lack of communication with your assistant also. Because
Possible.
assistant plays a very important role. If you're using assistant,
Hmm.
my advice to the magician is that proper synchronization should be there with
Hmm.
the artist and the magician,
Interesting.
artist and assistant. Yeah.
Hmm. So when it comes to because we are talking about career now, we're talking about technical aspects of the career of being, now we're talking about you kind of getting caught, not you, but part of your team getting caught in the act, and they kind of came to know. So what should a magician do? Because a lot of us right now who would have possibly got into magic right now, or we are planning to get into magic, or someone who's decently new, what do you feel, if you get caught like this, even though you mentioned earlier that you got to continue, but what should he or she think when they get caught, or when they see that there's a mishap and I'm caught, that people have seen it now? What should really
Yeah.
go in the head?
Okay. Now it depends on what type of mishap happens or what type of accident happens. Okay. The
Okay.
basic thing is that you have to have the presence of mind to
Hmm.
cover that up. Okay. It's very
Okay.
important. As I
Hmm.
said earlier, you only know what's going to happen. It's wrong. Or it's wrong. Something happened. You
Correct.
to never ever show it on your face. Number one.
Correct.
Neither
Ah,
with your body language.
correct.
That's way. So immediately somebody, he goofed. That's it.
Huh.
Now, how
Huh.
to cover it up? Now, cover it up like, for example, something drops from the hand. Okay, now
Hmm.
I do the billiard balls. Right now, I'm doing it's one of my signature effects.
All right.
So sometimes, right now, also at this level,
Hmm.
the billiard balls can fall from the hand, because if it's a performing condition. Sometimes you're sweating, AC is
Yeah.
not working.
Correct.
You're like that. So even in
Correct.
case the ball falls, you should never be nervous. If you just casually bend down, eye
Correct.
to eye contact, never
Correct.
look down. Because see, the main thing in magic, principles of magic, wherever you look, they are going to look.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
you have
realize that. Yeah.
eye contact is very very important in magic. So
Hmm.
if something falls down, you look
Hmm.
at the audience, bend down with one knee, your
Hmm.
left knee and right knee, pick up the prop or whatever has fallen down with your
Hmm.
hand, and don't lose eye contact with the audience, and immediately pick it up.
Oh,
So they will look at you only. They will not look at what's happening with your hand. But
got
the
it.
moment you look down like this and trying to, they
Hmm.
will also look down.
Look at it.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting.
one thing I can also advise. One suggestion I can give you is, something happens, you can say, something comes up, doesn't come out, and they say, I hope you all like that, because that was part of the act. You can
Hmm.
say like that. Oh, that's a
Got it.
part of the
Yeah.
act. I hope you all like it. But just you have to cover it up, and sometimes the card doesn't. You don't reveal the card properly. Suppose
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
close-up magicians are there.
Hmm.
They goof up in something. The pass is not proper, and they lose. They can't control the card to the top and all that. So
Got
that
it.
time you can say, you can like use one-liners, like
Hmm.
I think my magic is not working today, or
Ah.
something like that. One-liners are there. I think
All right.
my day is not good or something. But we go to the next week, and I hope you
Hmm.
like the next one. Like that.
So
So
you match it up.
basically,
Yeah.
what is that? You have to have a presence of mind to
Okay.
cover up that error.
Interesting. So when it comes to like career as such, where I'm pretty sure you would have seen a lot of magicians trying to do great things, but it's not really happening. A lot of them, they fail to a huge extent, and they have certain goals in their mind, and it doesn't really work out and things like that, because you can, like any career, even this career can fail. So what are some basic fundamentals that a magician should really remember before getting into this particular profession, and what are certain things that are really important that you need to consider as a professional if you're really getting into this particular thing?
Okay. Amrut, what you say, the last line, as a professional, that's
Hmm.
very important. Because see, a professional, now there are two type of professionals, professional magicians. One
Hmm.
is semi-professional, one is a full-time. Okay.
Hmm.
You can call a professional magician as a hobby, like a part-time, means semi-professional. He's
Hmm.
doing a job, and he pursuing the art in his on the weekends, doing shows and all that. But
Hmm.
whatever it is, whoever it is, a semi-professional or professional, the
Hmm.
basic ethics and the basic guideline principles remain the same. Okay. Number
Got it.
one, that first of all, we have to find out that the person has to decide where he
Hmm.
wants to go, because the sky is the limit. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
He has to decide, if he wants to become a professional magician, he has to decide what type of category is there. Like, he wants to be a stage performer, he wants to be
Hmm.
a close-up performer, he wants to be the table hopping, that type of thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
But one thing, he has to be mentally set, or he has
Hmm.
to have his mindset that
Hmm.
he has to practice. No matter what may come, he should not leave the profession if he wants to be a professional. It's not, I say it's simple, but not easy. Okay.
Not
You
easy.
have to
Yeah.
practice. The main thing is practice, practice, practice. I've seen many, magicians, they perform and then leave the art.
Okay.
They invest a lot of money, but somehow, somewhere down the line, it doesn't work for them, and they say,
Hmm.
no, I quit. Never
Hmm.
ever quit. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So basically, you have to first, when you go into this industry, in this magic industry, you have to find
Hmm.
out where you want to go, and
Hmm.
accordingly, you have to build your career or your profession, because
Interesting.
that's it.
So like it's more like a reverse engineering thing that you have a specific goal set. Yeah, this is how large I would want to grow, or this is sector that I would want to specialize in. Do you have any favorite category of magic that you really enjoy doing? Because I'm sure that that particular thing also relates to the bigger goal one would have.
I enjoy all type of
Hmm.
categories. Close
Huh.
up, conjuring. I don't do illusions, but
Okay.
semi illusions I perform sometimes when it depends on the uh, show.
Hmm.
If a corporate show is there, then
Huh.
sometimes at the end of the we need to do a semi illusion somewhere down the line.
Got it.
I enjoy basically close up and conjuring. Basically, these two categories I like, because I'm
Close
very
up.
good. Like, I like to talk, because in
Uh-huh.
close up, you remember one thing: you have to talk.
Yeah.
In close up, when you
Yeah.
go the deck of cards, or you show your coins, or your thimble manipulation, or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
Stage magic, many magicians get away with just it's like pantomime.
Hmm.
They put the music at the background, and thum tum 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 tum, it's moving, and they
Hmm.
come and they don't say a single word.
Just the act.
They never say a single word, and I got a very bad experience once. I had booked one. I'm an event organizer also, so
Okay.
whenever I have double bookings, I
Hmm.
booked one of my colleagues. I said, go and just do a show there.
Sure.
So what happened once was that he went there, and he's a very good worker,
Hmm.
magician and show worker.
Hmm. Hmm.
And 20 minutes he entered the stage, and the DJ put the music on, dum 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 dum, starting. He entered, tap 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 tap, nikala, and he moved out. The next day, I got a call from the client. He's saying, "Sir, I follow up with the clients. Sir,
Correct.
how was the show? So you
Yeah.
come to know whether the artist came on time and all. You get to know everything." He
Correct.
said, "Sir, the show was very well, very nice, absolutely brilliant show. But
Hmm.
was he dumb or deaf?" I said, "What?"
Oh my God.
I said, "What? Dumb,
Uh-huh.
deaf? No, he talks. No, he didn't utter a single word."
My God. Yeah, people can
So
be rude sometimes without really understanding the art form. That's
yeah,
really rude. Yeah.
misunderstanding is there when the person tap and he leaves.
Hmm.
So I always say that a magician, whenever he should be able to say his word, his
Yeah.
introduction, say his name,
Hmm. Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, because this is it's a very weird angle because uh, even though because I think it is the artist's responsibility to introduce the art form or the performance in such a fashion that the other participants answer, because or else you create the opportunity for people like these to be like really rude to you because don't really understand कि ऐसा form भी होता है. So yeah, I completely agree because when money gets involved, a lot of dynamics change. Especially, I've seen people certainly because they're investing, they a lot of them might end up becoming a little rude at the end of the day, which there's not needed as such. You can just just ignore it or maybe address the feedback. But yeah, I feel it is important as magicians that we be careful. We really understand and ask the client, and because I've been in the event industry, a part of it for a very long time now, it is so important, as you correctly mentioned, to do what the client really wants. And yeah, so I completely agree with you. But yeah, rude people are like wholesale में अपने पास rude लोग बहुत ऐसा कि ऐसा, but completely irrelevant or incorrect reference. Were you ever caught doing a magic trick, especially close up, because you mentioned that you like doing close up? Did someone know the trick
Yeah,
already?
no, not caught. See, the
Hmm.
thing is that especially when I was in my college days, I used to
Huh.
perform. See, the main thing is that I used to learn from my father, and my father used to tell me you have to practice. And
Hmm.
I used to show it among my family members.
All right.
My mother and my father and all that. And then he said, okay, now you're okay. You can go and show to your friends. So
All
the
right.
next batch of audience was my college friends. Okay,
Okay.
so they're very, and it's college friends. They like they don't mean it that way, but they like nobody likes to be fooled. There are two things:
Yeah.
psychology of the human mind,
Hmm.
human being. is that a person, you have to take magic as an entertainment. There are two
Yeah.
type of people, or two type of audiences.
Hmm.
Hecklers we call it. They
Yeah.
cannot stand being fooled. That
Yeah.
heckler will be at the back of the stage or at the back of the row or the auditorium and start, running commentary, like in a
Got it.
cricket, you know.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
he will distract you. So
Hmm.
that psychology of that person is that he doesn't like to be fooled. But there is another type of audience is that they enjoy the entertainment value of the magic.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Now, in close-up, what happens, and when I was in college days, I used to perform the cards, and all that. So they used to challenge me. Are Mandar, and then you show me again. In between they used to. So
Huh.
once or two times they used to do that. Then I realized that before I perform anything, you have to give them some, instructions. Okay, look,
Hmm.
I'm performing this, and let me finish. If you have any queries, if you
Hmm.
have any doubts, you can. I will answer them, but let me finish the performance. Then
Hmm.
they are, okay, let him finish it. So you will not be disturbed or,
Got it.
in trouble that way. After that, then, you can easily get away with it. They say, okay, now I'm going, I have to go, I got a lecture. I'm going off. So
Interesting.
that's it.
Because because you're talking about hecklers, so I was waiting for this particular thing because this is something that exists in all magicians life, and I'm pretty sure in your like in everyone's career you would at least find one, and that one can end up being your client, and things can go completely haywire
Wrong.
or out of
Haywire,
control even though
haywire,
you would like
haywire.
to haywire, completely
Yes.
haywire. So do you have a heckler experience like this in addition to your college friends? Certainly, how did you manage, or how do you generally manage hecklers if you find them in your show?
See, Amrut, the hecklers, why they are doing this? You have to see the psychology of these people.
Hmm.
They think they cannot stand you because you are superior to them. Number one, because you are doing something which they
Hmm.
cannot do. Okay,
Got
so
it.
they want to
Hmm.
challenge you. That's why they are doing their hecklers. The troublemakers.
Hmm.
Now, the best thing I always advise my students is you have to get them on your side.
Hmm.
Okay, means you cannot challenge them. Never ever challenge them.
Huh.
They will say, "Arey, magician, I saw it. It was in the coat. It was in your pocket. The ball was here." So they may do the running commentary. Let
Huh.
them do it slowly. After when the effect is over, you can
Hmm.
say, "Hello, my friend," to the
Huh.
person who is there. You were saying something. May I know your name? They say, "My name is Ravi." Okay, hello, Ravi. Nice to meet you. You were saying something. Because see, when you expose the heckler, no, he will keep quiet like a mouse.
Huh.
So you have to don't never ever challenge them. On the
Huh.
contrary, immediately you can befriend them. You can become friends with them. So
Got it.
immediately, what I do in that case, especially for children shows, if somebody elder boys are there,
Hmm.
they want to create trouble. So I said, okay, Mr. Ravi, can you please come on, give a big hand to Ravi. Yeah, give me one. Come on, yeah, okay. Hello, how are you? And oh, that was very nice. You were saying something, and I know you know a lot of magic. I tell him, though he may not know anything. I know you know a lot of. I know you know a lot of magic. And
Huh.
what we will do, just between you and me, after the show is over, why don't you teach me something? So
Yeah. Got it. Huh.
immediately on stage, that fellow, what, kya ho raha hai? What is happening?
Hmm. 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 Yeah.
You and he will quietly, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He will go down until the end of the show. He will not open his mouth.
Yeah. Got it.
So that I'm not insulting. You should not insult. That's one
Yeah.
thing. But you should immediately acknowledge his, presence and say, yes, you know a lot of magic. Oh wow, I like what you're doing or what you're commenting. But
Correct.
we'll talk about this later on after the show.
Of the show. Yeah. Got it.
That way.
Yeah. That's because a lot of times that one person can really change the vibe of the remaining group, and I'm pretty sure that the ones who are not hecklers, ones who are really looking forward to get amazed or amused or get entertained, would not want some to barge into that. but but I can, when I'm imagining this, I can like I had a situation some time ago where I was performing, and like, hey, you know what, the entire deck is the ace of spades. So I just, I said, I love the opportunity to show off. So if you say that the entire deck is ace of spades, let me just show you the other cards. And as you correctly mentioned, then he became a supporter. Then he's like, okay, so this guy can do some stuff. And yes, there is an angle of feeling that the other person is superior in that specific skill. So let me try and poke this person and see if he reacts. But yeah, it is better to resolve than to react. And I feel that's an awesome one. So
Right.
when it comes to beginners, especially beginners,
Okay.
what are your suggestions? What path should they take? What attitude should they have towards this art form? Because this art form is huge. There is no end to it. But you can't learn everything. You can learn a lot, but not everything. One might
True.
get lost in this journey. So, what do you feel one should do in this case so that the person doesn't get lost and doesn't have anything at the end of the day, but at least achieves what he or she intends to?
Okay. Amrut, as you said, beginners. This is the
Hmm.
category. Okay. So he's totally new to this art. He
Correct.
doesn't know anything. So he has to first get he has to empower himself with the knowledge of this art first of all. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he has to focus. He has to know where he wants to go. Because as you
Okay.
say, beginners. If you see the websites of many shop dealers and magic dealers, they have
Hmm.
beginners category. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you go, even my website has got a beginners category. So
Hmm.
you go to that site, that category, and see what suits you. Okay.
All right.
So a beginner has to understand one thing, and he has
Hmm.
to see, as you rightly said, sky is the limit. There are a lot of things you can buy in
Correct.
magic.
Yeah.
But sometimes what happens, a beginner, he gets carried away, obviously, because, the marketing is done in such a way,
Hmm.
oh,
Ah.
wow, no threads, no this, no magnets and all that. And sometimes it comes to you and you say, oh, what is this? You know, he will not be able to perform. So
Possible.
the best thing I advise for the beginner is that try to get a lot of reviews. Like the Magic Cafe is there. A lot of
Hmm.
online sources are there.
Hmm.
Try to understand what he wants to buy. Okay, try
Okay.
to ask other magicians or ask people, other colleagues, and ask magicians only. Don't ask any other layman because he's not going to help you. Okay,
Correct.
so take the right advice from the
Huh.
right people.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
and then gradually build your repertoire as a beginner.
All
Now,
right.
as I said, like there are a lot of card tricks. There are
Huh.
self-working. If you with the initial stage, I can advise the beginners you buy a deck of cards, a good
Yeah.
brand like a bicycle, okay,
Hmm.
bike, and you master self-working card tricks,
All right. All
which
right.
yeah, so which do not require any other props or any other thing. Only
Yeah.
self-working. It is very simple, automatic card tricks. Then slowly you can go on to the slides, double
Correct.
lift,
All right.
glide,
Hmm.
all that. So similarly, the card magic, coin magic category is there, coin magic, rope magic, so many categories are there. So my
Hmm.
advice to the beginner is that he has to focus on what he wants to do in magic
Hmm.
and how he wants to start. So now
Hmm.
I've seen many young boys, they are beginners. They, of course, everyone is fascinated by card magic,
Correct.
especially with a normal deck of cards.
Hmm.
So they
Hmm.
do cards. They got maybe a hundred effects up their sleeves,
Correct.
card tricks. But ultimately, at one level, what happens, Amrut,
Huh.
is that they come and they say, "Sir, I have a show, and they want me to. My friends are getting bored, with card magic.
Hmm.
For us, it's okay. But a person, if you show 20 card tricks, they will say,
Huh.
"Arey, you don't know anything else
Anything
apart
else?
from cards."
Yeah.
It has happened. It has happened to
Yeah.
me also. So
Interesting.
my advice to the beginners is that you are
Hmm.
actually versatile. It should be dynamic. It should be it cover all type of things. A little
Hmm.
bit of coin magic, little bit of card magic, little bit of symbols, or
Hmm.
small props magic, little bit of mentalism if you want. You can put in that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the mix will help them to keep the other person entertained because I realized one thing when I was performing, that bit. So when I was trying to design the entire show instead of just going completely impromptu and trying to see what I remember next, let me do this trick. I said, you know what? Because I was going heavy on mentalism. That's what my area of interest has been recently, and I was like, if I keep on doing mentalism tricks, it's just gonna get them bored. So before going for so it was I think about it was an hour show that went a little extended because everyone just was enjoying and having a good blast. So when I was planning it, I wrote down everything, all the all the acts that I would want to do with the names of the acts, and then I realized these are just too many of the same kind. If I keep on doing this, then you're gonna get bored. So I did like a 3 and a 1. Like after 2 to 3, after 3 mentalism, 1 card trick. So as a combination like that, or maybe 2 card tricks and then 1 mentalism trick, so that the flow is on. That is an
Right.
amazing advice to beginners. Uh, and yes, there are so many tricks that they will never end. But at the end of the day, you got to list down a few that you really enjoy and master at. Uh, when it comes to like, because you've been in this field for such a long time, what are the major reasons why people become successful as magicians? What has your observation been?
Main reason for becoming what? I didn't get the
Generally,
last
like
one.
when you have observed, because you get to see all kinds of magicians of different categories, experience and success degrees. So
Yes.
what have been those major reasons why why a magician, like specific group of magicians, have become successful in the art form compared to the others? What is it that makes them different?
What makes them different is, first of all, the approach and the act itself.
Okay.
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 The act is very important. See, what I advise, like, you have to be unique, number one.
All right.
You, in this industry, in this art, if you copy somebody,
Hmm.
because see, you cannot copy PC Sarkar is PC Sarkar,
Correct.
KNAL is KNAL. Okay.
Got it.
Now, I have many. There are many of students of mine who do magic shows, with the moonwalk, like
All
very
right.
young guys
Yeah.
in their 20s and 30s. Now, if I, at this age, if I start doing moonwalk, you know,
You look
on
very
the
cool,
stage,
by the way. You look very interesting, Patil sir.
so why I'm telling you is that you should not copy anyone. You, as
Hmm.
per your character, as per your thing, you have to develop you have to create your own identity.
All right.
And that
All
is
right.
where the person becomes successful. He creates his own identity in the market, and
Hmm.
he comes up. He uh, climbs the ladder of success. Number
Hmm. Hmm.
one is
Hmm.
that why magicians are successful than the others, because their act is, number one, unique.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
don't copy, and they are innovative. They keep on changing every time. Okay, they keep on
Interesting.
changing. Like they the same act may be there, but a little bit of change here and there. The choreography may change, that way.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
okay.
and yeah, that's it. And another fourth one is that marketing. Marketing is very important. If you want to be successful,
Huh.
marketing is very important nowadays. We have the social media, you know.
Correct.
So it all depends on your marketing, how you market yourself, and how you build your image in the market, and that will take time. It will take time, but
Hmm.
once
Hmm.
you are established, once people know you, boom, it's like it's like a bamboo tree, Chinese
Yeah.
bamboo tree. For 7 to 8 years,
Just grow.
nothing will happen, and
Got it.
then
Yeah.
boom,
You'll
you go
move.
up. Your sky is the limit, like that. So basically, is patience also. You have to have patience. I've
Hmm.
seen many magicians, they are successful, but they
Huh.
are, I mean, they don't have that much patience. Arey, nahi, nahi, it's not, medicine, nahi ho raha hai, it's not happening. I'm doing
Huh.
my level best. But sometimes, there's a story I can tell you. In a village, there
Huh.
was a pump, there was a
Okay.
water pump.
Hmm.
It was, that old water boring pumps. They
Yeah.
were
Boring pump.
pumping, pumping, pumping.
Correct.
So the boy was pumping, 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 and he could not, take out the water.
Huh.
Then another person from behind, he says, "Son, it's not like that. You have to keep on pumping. You had the water had come to the nozzle, but one more pump was enough. It would have come out." So
Got it.
the main thing is that we magicians make a mistake is that we reach a certain level, but
Hmm.
little bit extra you have to do, and then you get that success. You don't know,
Got it.
you're coming to that level of success, but
Got it.
little bit of more efforts, and you are there. So
That's
that is one
beautiful.
thing.
That's an amazing example, Patil sir, because that's what really happens because when I look at mentalism or when I look at magic as a profession, it is you're an entrepreneur, and the world of entrepreneurs is about failure, and then success, and possibly then a series of failure, then success. So yeah, I completely agree that you got to love failure as much as you love success, and just keep on pushing that pump so that the drop of success falls through, and then you make some really good fortune out of it. uh, Another like before we close, we would like to know. It has been these many years. Did you ever get bored of magic by any chance, or did you do a lot of magic कि बाबा मेरे को भी break लेना पड़ेगा बहुत ज़्यादा magic हो रहा है ऐसा कभी हुआ है आपके साथ?
I saw once I can tell you many years back.
हाँ
See, I told you earlier I was into events. I'm into events, and that
हाँ
time, I had during the season. We have seasons like
correct
Christmas
correct
time and all that.
correct
So I had one booking of 6 shows a day.
My
And,
God.
6 shows were there on the same day. It was the Christmas or before Christmas
Ah,
Eve or something like that. So so we had to do 6 shows, but I said I have to do it because the booking, and I had planned properly. There was a lot of time in between, 1 hour, 1.5 hour gap in between. So
all right.
one after the other, I finished it. But at the end of the day, I was totally exhausted because a person, like, I can do one or two, but 6 and I had to do it because
Yeah.
they wanted me. I would have even
Specifically.
diverted the show to some other artist. But what
Got
happens,
it.
in this industry,
Huh.
once a client says I want Mandar, means I want Mandar.
Mandar.
Especially
Yeah.
the old clients of mine, they cannot settle for anyone else because they don't
Got it.
know how that performer will perform, how what will be his quality.
Got it.
So 6 shows I had done that day, and then I said, I just in the night I said, "Bus, enough now." I mean, But then the next day when the next day I
Huh.
woke up, I said, I was back in my shop and
Wow.
back on the move.
Back. That's
So that's
interesting.
it.
So I think it's pure passion that makes you go crazy, and it just makes you. It pushes you to the next level for sure. So Mandar sir, if anyone would like to connect with you to understand things or the services that you provide, or the guidance that you can provide or train them, what are all the places where they can really get in touch with you? If you can tell us so on the video.
Okay. First of all, I have my website.
Okay.
Uh, that is www.patilmagic.com. Okay, number one. Number two, I'm on Instagram. You can search for Patil Magic Shop on Instagram. I'm
Okay.
on a Facebook. I have a Facebook channel. I have a Facebook page also, Patil Magic Shop.
All right.
I have my personal name is also there by the name of Mandar Patil. So these
Okay.
two places are there. And I have a YouTube channel.
All right.
The YouTube channel is The Patil Magic on the YouTube channel.
The Patil Magic.
So these
All
are
right.
the various social medias where we can get connected.
Awesome. That is so. Everybody, this. Thank you so much. First of all, before I address the other guys, thank you so much, sir, for making your time available for us and sharing such amazing experiences with us and guidance as well. So, guys, as you heard, there are a lot of ways you can connect with Patil, sir. He's an amazing guy, gem of a person, and always ready to help. And the community, as other artist communities as well, this community needs. We need each other's help to really grow and make things better, put in better quality out there so that the value of the art form increases exponentially day by day. So thank you so much, Patil sir, for being here, for sharing all this amazing experience and talking about magic. We hope you have a nice time ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amrut. Thank you. It's my pleasure discussing a lot of my experiences and with you today. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.